We've got one here from Lynn asking about international applications, which I know are a growing percentage of applicants now are coming from overseas. So how is an international applicant's chances affected by being international, if at all? And how would that affect scholarship money?
So I think there's sort of two groups of international students. So there's students who are, spent their upbringing, spent their high school years, everything in another country, came to the U.S. for college, maybe have gone back to their home country, or if they're still in college, obviously, they're not planning to do that. And then there are international applicants where they grew up in another country, they went to school in another country, and they're entirely international, I guess I would say. So obviously for applicants who are, and the thing that I think that really maybe becomes the focus is if you are a non-native English speaker, right? If you've been educated even just for college in the US, one, we can see grades, right? But two, we know you've had recent English, immersed in English educational experience. So even though you might be a non-native English speaker, you were able to handle, academic experience in English. I frankly have a lot of respect for people who leave their country and go to college in another country and where everybody's speaking a different language. I can't imagine, when I was 18 going to China, and just, that takes a lot of guts. So I actually have a lot of respect for people who do that. For those who are educated abroad, the trickier piece, right, is we don't have that easy resource of a transcript. And so it does require a little more investigation for us. We're going to look carefully at writing, because, if you're a non-native speaker and you weren't educated in a primarily English setting, we want to be sure, we want to feel confident that you can handle being in one, and it's going to be a high level academic experience. So writing, I think also, when we're reading letters of recommendation that are academic, kind of wanting to see those same characteristics that we look for in someone who's, been in the U.S. their entire life, was educated in the U.S., right? So critical thinking skills, because it's going to be a little bit harder for us to see those on a transcript. Depends on the school, right? Some transcripts look a little bit more similar to a U.S. transcript, and so it's a little bit easier for us to evaluate it. So I think we kind of have to look at a few other pieces of the puzzle. The other thing I would say, sometimes internationally educated students sometimes have some work experience. So in that case, I know you've been, if you've been in an English setting, even if you are from another country and you went to college in another country, if you've spent some time in an English setting, in a professional setting in particular, that's a good, I can look at that as an asset, and a piece of information about how your preparedness, I guess, for law school. So it's scholarships. So it doesn't put folks at a disadvantage for our process, because we will look at the LSAT. Now, they don't have a GPA that is also going to come into play, but the scholarships aren't solely driven by LSAT and GPA. So, but certainly, if as an international applicant, the stronger the LSAT score, the better your shot at merit scholarship. That's true for everyone, but particularly for international students, because they don't have a GPA to kind of offset a lower LSAT score. But the other thing that I always kind of have to tell international applicants is, even if we give you a scholarship, you still are going to need to figure out how to fund the rest of it. Even if you get a full tuition scholarship, you still have to have money to live. And federal loans are not going to be the easy option that they are for other folks. And so, I just kind of caution international applicants to be ready for that going into the process and have a game plan for how they're going to fund things. That doesn't assume the law school is going to cover everything for them, because it's not a reality most of the time. And it doesn't mean there's no resources. There are some, loans out there, but it's just not going to be quite as simple. So I would always advise an international applicant to remember there's, your financial picture is going to be it's going to be a bigger project for you than just getting a scholarship.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.